What's good, everybody? This is another episode of the established 1982 podcast, the Geek Culture Podcast, hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV since 1982. This is the Lawnsman, Wally Analog, and I'm joined across the table from my homie, the gatekeeper of civility and order. It is Rolls Royce.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and speaking of rolling, our girl is on the road.
Why? Why do we tell people what I'm doing?
Listen, because we are full transparency here. We all love you. She's en route, and she will be in front of the mic, but the topic is such that we got to get her in ASAP. We're going to talk about this Kenobi, but it is our wish come true. Wish Kid Jones is in the car, not in the building, but she'll be here in the building shortly. What's up, girl?
I'm hanging up.
Be safe out there. Click the tickets.
Hey man, what's up, y'all?
We couldn't leave you out, man. We trying to talk about this Kenobi. And we all know who the resident expert in Star Wars is. So it would not it would be improper for us to not get you in here. I don't care where you are, but we got to get you in here. So that's what it is. Rosen has some oral surgery over here. He's miserable. I mean,
Yeah.
He pushing through. He got a steak on his face.
Right.
She's like the cartoon.
Nah, I'm making that up.
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, he's miserable.
Yeah, I gotta.
Imagine Rose is about to talk even less, which I didn't think was possible.
I'm gonna snake eyes this thing.
Right. Right. You about to what is that? Deadpool in the Wolverine joint.
Right.
The bootleg
was
boo one.
Right.
The boo boo Deadpool. Silence.
Yes. You about to witness the strength of street silence. That's what you about to hear.
Or wait, what's the name of the ninja and the boys? You don't talk neither.
Oh, Black Noir.
Yes.
Yeah, Black
that's
Noir.
That's another story. But I got 15 minutes in on that, boys. And listen here, man. I almost tapped out. It was too much.
The first 15 was a lot.
That was just
But
too much.
I finished the first 3 episodes.
Oh,
like,
did you?
It's like it's like a potato chip. Once you start watching, you can't stop. You're like, this is just awesome.
Yeah, I didn't finish it. I turned it off. I got to, because I had some other stuff to do, and I had started it during pretty
good for you.
bad time. But I got to get back in.
Okay.
But I digress.
Pretty good.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the boys. It's gonna get the viewing.
Yeah.
But again, I digress, as I often do, and because Rose is a little down, he can't maintain the requisite amount of civility and order and bang the gavel and get me back on track. So I'm going to have to do it myself. So Obi-Wan Kenobi, the most recent installment in the Disney Plus Star Wars offerings. And
yes, and may I jump in and just add that it's also the highest premiering Disney Plus show.
Oh,
date.
Word?
Yep.
Yeah.
To date.
That weekend was just blockbuster. I think they had the most views than anything else that's premiered. So yeah, it is doing its thing.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, there was a lot going on that weekend. Stranger Things,
Yes,
Volume 4, Volume 1.
uh-huh.
Yeah, came out.
Yeah.
So it was a great binging weekend.
Yeah, man,
Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
That was good marketing strategy.
Yeah, and then May the 4th. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna watch that on May the 4th.
I'm talking about the weekend that they did, like Memorial Day weekend, with everything coming out.
And folks was off and
in
front of their grill. Yeah.
Right, but it was a nice surprise though, because like they released 2 episodes, right?
Yes, on Friday.
So, correct.
So on May the 4th, you got a treat, and then I thought they were gonna stick to the Friday cadence.
Yeah, see, that messed me up.
Right.
That messed me up. I thought, and I had been telling people, I can't wait till next Friday, and then somebody was like, Wednesday. I was like, no, you sure? And then they was like, man, that Obi-Wan that next Wednesday. I was like, excuse me?
That's what happened to me.
I'm late. Okay.
I was working, and it was around noon. I was like, wait, what? What? Episode 3, what?
I
And so
just
started
I just
down the
knew that
watch.
Wish Kid Jones had that date right. Just
No, to
knowing
the
that.
point, I don't know why my brain was thinking Friday.
Well, see, that's
Because
untraditional.
Friday.
They don't do that normally. They don't drop something on Friday and
Well,
then continue with a
correct.
Wednesday
Correct.
schedule. It's usually
Correct. So to World's point, I think it was supposed to come out earlier, and because it didn't, they did the whole nice double feature. But like I said, I think it was great marketing tactic because it was a Memorial Day weekend, so you had time to really kind of binge watch and enjoy it. So it all worked itself out. It was pretty cool.
Well, I thought it was just purely May the 4th that they.
Well, it wasn't May the 4th.
It wasn't May the 4th.
No, that's right.
It wasn't May the 4th.
That's right. You're
They announced they put that dope trailer out
yes,
on
that's
on
right.
May the 4th.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the trailer came out May the 4th.
Right.
Because it was May the
Memorial
24th.
weekend.
They were trying
I
to
was-
get you at the house, watching on your
Just
day
like
off, going into the weekend.
Hamburgers.
Yeah,
I
my
thought-
months are just give
It's
me
still on that dope that the dentist gave him.
yeah, just give me the getting cold.
I'm gonna say, yeah,
Got him on that
blame it
Whitney Houston.
Oh no, come
blame it
on,
on
man.
alcohol.
Man, come on,
On that Whitney.
man. No, that's not cool. Wally,
You don't
man.
do crack. Crack is whack.
Come on, man.
You can't,
Come on, man.
you can't-
Obi-Wan.
You
Okay.
can't spell Whitney without white.
Oh,
On
man.
that white.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Jesus Christ. This has already gone off the rails. Someone needs to be present. Present for stability. Oh, God.
So in this, so on the sands of Tatooine,
Obi-Wan.
in the
I know,
sands of
right?
Tatooine, yes.
Talk about, talk about that spice.
All right. I apologize.
When we start off, I know we did a pregame on Obi-Wan Kenobi. We talked a little bit about, I know I gave like a full Star Wars 101 history.
You did.
But, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
That's right.
So, now we are 3 episodes in.
Yes.
And I think let's just kick it off. I think we all agree that the way they opened up this series was perfect.
Madam.
In regards to giving you like a little bit of a snippet of, here's what you need to know.
Madam, yes. That might have been the best, get you caught up kind of recap, even for those who may have not seen a Star Wars movie. You were pretty much, you got a good crash course, I think. To where you had enough to go back on the web and pick up anything you may not have understood. But for the layman, it was great. And then for the Star Wars fan, if you hadn't seen anything in a while, it was a perfect refresher.
Right. And if you even just finished watching it yesterday, it was just such a nostalgic nod to open up Obi-Wan that way and just get all those bits and pieces in real-time story. So I definitely want to give kudos to the show, to the point that I think they should start doing more shows that way. Because not only did it open up in that way where you got a little tidbit, but they also gave you date shots. So we know exactly where we are in the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're not guessing where we are on the timeline. It's like, okay, all of this happened and boom, 10 years later, right? Like we know where we're at, we know where we're picking up. But I just think it was brilliant the way that they did that.
Yes.
And I think that's a nod to this series feels more like a movie than it does a series, and I think that's part of that nod of it feeling that way. What do you guys think? Did you guys feel that way about it?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Rose. I feel like I've been running my mouth.
No, you good. You good. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It does feel like a movie. I love the cinematic quality of everything. Yeah, it's just I really enjoyed, I guess, diving deeper into Obi-Wan. It's almost like the episodes are playing out like a character study on Obi-Wan, and it's interesting. It seems like there's some parallels between the evolution of Darth and Obi. They're trying to. It seems like they're showing like Obi-Wan is really struggling with losing his brother. And I also think Darth, he's so bent on revenge, clearly, that it's just showing those parallels. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of it kind of comes together at the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Wally, can you come open the door for me and edit this out?
Absolutely. One moment. And welcome in. And she is here, smelling lovely. She looks lovely. And I realized we were talking about Obi-Wan, but please let us just for a moment bask in the loveliness that is Whiskey Jones. She's leaving the building. She's what is going on? Yeah, and this is why you love our podcast. It's so candid and
too detailed.
Yeah.
Too much information.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Expensive fragrances and
God.
lovely garments.
Because we're talking about Star Wars, and I thought,
Yes.
I thought it was birthday occasion. Thank you.
Yes.
I thought I should get dressed up.
Okay.
Got my Reva braids in, and
That's right.
my Jedi robe on.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Y'all weren't ready for this
Nope.
Mace Windu. I'm giving you
No.
that.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So we were talking about the cinematicness
Yes.
of
Indeed,
the show.
Indeed.
And I think you were about to say
Yeah,
something.
I was just I just talked about the recap, and then the beginning is what I wanted to go to. I don't know who that Jedi woman was. Do you know who that woman was?
Yes, I did forget her name, but she's not a known Jedi. But they did mention her name.
She put in work.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, she did.
They started
She
off
did that sequence. Love
that is the proper way to begin a Star Wars anything.
Yes, Jedi.
Because you have yes, I don't care what it is. Yeah,
Right.
something.
Action, yes.
Shooting, killing, something.
What was beautiful about that scene was not only did you get this beautiful dance that she was doing as a Jedi
Right.
and watching the children, but when
Yes.
it pulled back,
You can
it
see
gave you another Order
Yeah.
66 view because
Yeah.
you can hear Palpatine Order
Yep.
66
Go
in
get
the
'em.
background, and you can see all the details in the Jedi Temple, and you can see how everyone was fighting. So I'm loving that now we're starting to open up the Star Wars,
The universe.
not even just the universe, but those books again,
Right.
like all these different views of Order 66. You get it from a Bad Batch perspective, you got it from a Star Wars clones perspective, you got so it's just even Grogu in that perspective. So it's like you can really tell just how impactful that moment was outside of what we saw in Return of the Sith in the movies. So it was pretty cool.
I have been talking to quite a few people, mostly patrons and those that follow the show, be they patrons or not. And I've gotten a number of different perspectives and opinions regarding the show, and for the most part, they have been favorable. Right, the show is not without its flaws. I don't really plan on picking them out because they weren't enough for me to say I can't get with the show. But one fan of the show in particular, whose opinion I value so very much, Van Everett. He went on record. We spoke today, and he talked about.
I'll plug your appearance, man.
Yes, I made an appearance on the Scenario radio show. Lovely
That's
radio
what's up. I
show.
love Scenario.
And Van is he's more than an amazing host, very knowledgeable dude.
Yes.
And I value everything that comes out of his mouth. Every opinion of his is pretty solid. So when he said he did not like Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Oh, yikes.
no interest. Now, well, okay, let me rephrase.
Look at her face.
Let me rephrase. I don't know that he's watched it. I think he said he's not interested because, and I want to see what you think about this angle to it, because what he said was, I kind of understood where he was coming. It's hard for him to get into a show where he kind of knows.
The ending.
Yeah. He knows Leia's going to be all right. He knows Ben is going to be all right. He knows, for the most part, that Vader's going to be all right.
Yeah.
So unless
That's fair.
unless you are like me, and probably us at the table, I can't speak for everyone here, but for me, my interest lies in getting the understanding and backstory of every one of those characters.
Right.
That's my thing.
Yes.
I get it. He feels like it's watching a taped NBA Finals game that you already know the score to.
Not
right?
really.
That's
I think
what it
I think
feels
that's a
like.
bad comparison. I think it's like watching how Michael Jordan got prepared for a Game 6. I think it's a difference. So
Right.
you know how Game 6 is going to
Right.
roll out.
But that is a better analogy.
You get to go in and see how did Michael Jordan pull off what he did. What influenced that? Not to go too far.
Almost like the
parallel.
documentaries, like you
Pretty
know,
much, right?
yeah.
So we know what's going to happen.
Right.
My comment on that is then first of all, I like Van, so I was a little like shocked and awe.
Yeah, your mouth
I
dropped
was like,
all
what?
the way to the
Who?
table.
Who?
Right.
But all good. But then I would challenge anyone who wants to watch a prequel. Period. Because at the end of the day, when we had the original Star Wars before and like we already knew what was going to happen or how things ended up. We knew who Anakin ended up to be because we saw that. And so, I mean, that's any prequel. We don't have to do Star Wars. We can talk about anyone that comes out, even when we're about to see with Game of Thrones. Like, we know how the story ends. And I think, or even one of my favorite things, The Lord of the Rings, when we got to see The Hobbit, right?
Yeah.
That background story, I think, to your point, enhances the journey, right? It enhances, and we get an opportunity, which why I'm surprised Van said this, because we actually had a chat on Facebook. You have an opportunity to introduce other characters.
That's right.
And he said that's one thing he's interested in with Star Wars.
Right.
Is we're going to introduce other characters and storylines. And I think they're doing a really good job of that. Again, I was touting earlier Bad Batch. What's about to happen with Ahsoka? Like, you get to see these other layers and get to see the different layers of the universe and how all things kind of came together.
Right.
Because we pretty much just only got like a one point of view in the series as it sits. And so, as I appreciate what he's saying, I think he's probably putting a lot into. I know what's happening with the characters I know, but probably not realizing just how rich it is to get introduced into the Inquisitors. Right?
Yes.
How rich it is to see how Leia ended up the way she did. Like, we just kind of got introduced to Princess Leia in a prison. That was our introduction, assuming she was a princess, X, Y, and Z. So we get to see a little bit of development of that, and we also get to see other parts, which I think they're going to kind of continue to build, is what was the Empire up to? Right? Like, the Empire was up to something that's going to play a part into these other things as we get into Andor, et cetera, et cetera. So, like real world, right? Like, just because what America's going through, that doesn't mean that China, Africa doesn't have a story.
Right.
Yes.
Or Europe doesn't have a story. And I think this is what we're doing. We're revealing the rest of the universe and the rest of that story.
That's good. Yeah.
I also have a feeling that this story is gonna add more dimension to Darth.
Yes.
Like,
And if
I think
you
it's
wanna
gonna
be
be more
honest-
he's gonna become a three-dimensional character
Yeah.
versus like, well, I'm just evil
Right.
for evil's sake.
Right.
Right.
Like
Like,
the books.
they're
You get to
really
see some
gonna
levels
yes.
to it.
Yeah.
They had a brotherhood. Like, they were like Obi-Wan and Anakin were like this.
They had an era. I think
Right.
when you were saying earlier, I didn't chime in. When you talk about him missing his brother, I think Obi-Wan misses just everything that was of the
Yes.
era, the Jedi era.
Right.
To have
He's saddened by that being
saddened by
not
that.
a thing
He's
anymore.
saddened by even the missing of Padme.
Yeah,
and just like
he's
the
hurt
way
by that.
things are, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
it's one of those things like you kind of wake
He's
up.
almost.
10
It's like
years
he's.
later in a
he's a
different
It's like
war
he's dealing
veteran.
with depression.
He's a war
He's
veteran.
literally dealing with depression.
Wars.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
He's a
love
war
that. That's
veteran.
exactly what it is. It's like,
And
these are
that's
not
why.
the old
And that's why
days.
he felt that guy, that veteran he gave money in the street, the bum, the guy, and he was like a. He
Well,
was
that
like
was a
a
clone. That was
old
Yeah, he was a clone.
But keep
Yeah.
in mind, even that clone is outdated because now clones are replaced by people.
exactly.
Yep.
So I thought that was so cool. By
It
the
was,
way,
it was.
I love that he
It's like,
came back
help
and
an
played
old
that.
veteran.
I mean, but help a clone because
Yep.
Because
He fought alongside him.
He did. And I get chills when we think about what we're going to see in Bad Batch, and I don't want to go derail that way because clones have a story.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, just think the whole time they also too thought they were fighting for something.
Yeah.
Kind of find you're brainwashed. You're raised as a brotherhood. The things that war does, and now you're obsolete. And and we're talking about 10 years. We're not talking about 30 years later.
Right.
So the way that this is progressing in regards of old guard and new guard is also happening quickly. And I think that's interesting to even see how the worlds are responding to what's happening. I mean, if I could be so bold, I'd rather have this than have what we had in the last 3 sequels. I'd rather we picked up here and this be a movie and we move forward than what we got.
Yep.
So because this to me is, I think, what we all been kind of playing in our heads to try to make the last 3 sequels work. And now we get the real deal of it.
Right.
And I hope they do them over, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm here for do-overs.
Well, I think what they're probably going to do is I think they're trying to get everything out the way so they can introduce this new chapter.
Whatever the
Star
new
Wars.
is. Yeah.
Was it the High Republic or something like that?
Well, the High Republic will be going backwards.
It'll be going backwards. Sorry.
So
Yeah, and I will say this, like, the one thing that Obi-Wan has really sparked in me, or every time a new Star Wars property comes out, it makes me want to go back and watch them in order.
Yeah.
And
It's like you appreciate the prequels.
and I've missed.
that's it.
And I've missed.
Crazy.
That's
well,
it.
and then
That's
also
it.
too, I haven't
that's
missed.
magic.
Right.
Because we were all hating on the prequels,
Oh my
but
God.
now they're like, ooh, there's something about them. Okay,
Right.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I didn't watch all of Clone Wars, and I'm missing out because, like, they were mentioning, like, Quinlan.
Yeah,
And I haven't seen Rebels either, and it's like, yeah,
I told you.
I know, but that's a lot to
She's
cover.
the
You can't
resident.
cover like.
At least watch the Rebels.
Right.
Rebels right now is going to be so important to where the universe is going when Ahsoka comes out.
Rebels was important in Mandalorian too, because a lot of people
Correct.
were
The
citing
whole-
Rebels
the whole
more so
Mandalor-
than anything else.
Because
More
the
so than
reality is the
Attack-
whole Mandalorian lore kind of wrap up is in Rebels. Again, Dave Filoni wrote both Clone Wars and Rebels, and he did a really good job of tying them in together. But before because I can talk
And
about
that's
this forever.
amazing too. Like he's and not to
I
keep it
know.
going, but
That's-
like it's almost like he's like this generation's George Lucas, pretty
That's
much.
exactly it. That's exactly it.
George Lucas just downloaded everything.
Pretty much. I mean,
and then
he was just
like,
like
I'll take it as
he's a Padawan. He's now
Right.
becoming a master.
Right.
That's what-
For
well
real
said.
talk.
Well said.
But going back to Obi-Wan Kenobi, so I to your point, there has been some really high enjoyable moments. There have been a couple of moments where it felt a little oopsie doopsie, and to your point, we have to get into it. And I think they were making accommodations for the young actress. I think they were making accommodations for the fact this is a series and they have to draw some things out. There are some points in it where I did like kind of scratch my head.
like what? Like an example of one.
Example of one and
Baby chases.
I'm gonna leave the baby chases alone because the baby chases are just that, baby chases.
We still got to talk about that because the conversation you and I had about them
It was
baby
like,
chases.
Why? It was like watching. It was so.
She
horrible.
said it was. She said because we talked, and she said, Wally, they was chasing that baby in the woods, and all I could think of was you throwing the whole series in the trash.
I was like,
And
why
I
is that? Like,
laughed.
this is trash.
I laughed. I hit the floor because I was like, "You read my mail," because I was looking at this like they need to wrap this up. They need to
was
wrap
like,
this.
Wally is gonna
They
tear
need
the
to
whole
wrap
thing
this
down.
this 2 mile per hour chase through the woods.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the
Chasing
episode
this
1
baby.
when it was chasing Princess Leia
And
you had
Lola.
three adults chasing a little girl in an open grass field because that's what it felt like. I mean, it wasn't. But that's what it felt like. And they were tripping over their own shoelaces.
Oh,
and
it was Home Alone.
they were
Bumbling
they were
burglars.
Sound like
not
Benny
branches, but
Hill.
It was
twigs.
Benny Hill. Cue the yakety sax.
They were avoiding little twigs, not branches, but twigs, and it was very entertaining. I was like, and both Wally and I were saying we would have been okay with that scene if it would have shown a little bit of
her
force
tapping into
power.
some
like if
force
she kind of slightly
accidentally.
picked up a rock or kind of
Right.
pushed somebody away and didn't realize
No.
that she did it. But otherwise, it was a waste of a good 2 minutes.
Terrible.
I mean, it was so sci-fi channel. It was,
And
so,
she knows me so well in such a little amount of time because she knew I was watching that with my arms
watching-
folded.
It was. I was like, Wally is about to turn the
Please
whole
don't
TV
go.
off and say the whole show is trash.
And she was reading my mind with it.
But they came back.
They did.
They
They
came
threw a
back
bag
strong.
over her head and it was all good.
I mean,
Was it as bad as Anakin and Padme like rolling around in the field?
No, because at least that was purposeful. Like this was really.
don't know.
No, it was painful to watch because
No,
it was like,
Cringy.
oh, I am falling, and it was really bad. But then another moment that was a little like, was Darth and this is in episode 3. I'm gonna fast forward because I think episode 2 was pretty solid outside the little girl chase. We ain't gonna talk about that no more. But in episode 3, when Darth and Obi-Wan was fighting.
We talked about that too.
Yes, and then I feel like it was all good, and I was sharing with Wally that Darth is in this place where he's concentrating on making Obi-Wan suffer. So I understood why he didn't kill him. Where I got a little thrown was when the girl shot the fire, made the fire again, and then a droid just came and picked up Obi-Wan. And it's over. I'm like, okay, we ain't gonna force choke
that's very
nobody. We ain't gonna knock nobody down. And it's
Darth
like,
Vader just kind of just
I needed
mailed it
a
in.
bigger distraction for Vader. I needed a plane to land or a couple people shooting, but just a droid and a woman kind of threw me off only because when he walked in, they did such an amazing job of when Darth came to that community and turned that corner,
Man,
and was just like
he was
crushing.
killing
He was like,
everybody.
I was like,
Kids
okay,
and
we're just gonna just pick
women
up people.
and children.
And keep in mind that this is Darth Vader at the height of his power too.
Well, let me touch on this.
So-
One thing that was beautiful about the writing with the Inquisitors, they set it up. They were like the Jedi. He knew
They
that
will
Obi.
hunt
He knew that Obi was
themselves.
watching him, and he's like, "I'm going to kill everybody in here so Obi can come
we
out."
go back to that?
Yes.
You mentioned that.
You're right.
We 5 minutes into
It'll
this
be
show.
their own. They'll be.
We're
their
5
own
minutes
doing.
into
Yes.
this show.
By being
So
heroic.
go back to the first episode.
The first episode. That was some of the best evil person monologue I've ever heard.
That probably took care of, again, if you've
That-
never heard of an
If you've
Inquisitor,
never heard about him, he
day
gave you
in
a
your
quick
life.
summary, and it was the most gangster thing.
But also, but in context to what
Yes,
was happening,
right.
it didn't feel like a regular.
No.
I'm a bad guy and
No.
I'm here to
Right.
kill Jedi.
This
I mean,
is
it
what-
was so poetic.
He was talking to
We are
everybody in there.
efficient
I
and
am
hunting
here.
Jedi.
Correct.
We are
And
efficient.
even what and it even set you up for why Reva threw the knife.
Yeah,
I mean, like
because he's
that
gonna
5
stop
minutes.
it.
But no, but the 5 minutes was perfect. To your point, the
Yeah.
dialogue set up the characters and everything perfectly.
It was
in the
masterful.
First 5 minutes.
It was masterful.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
It was beautiful.
And then it explains what Darth was doing.
Yeah.
And it explains
Right.
why he was killing just
Right,
random folks.
man, just random folk. Because you're gonna come out. Somebody gonna come out and stop me if they or try to if they have the ability. And man,
No.
Women, children.
That
Man,
part,
he's
I mean,
killing
The other
babies.
part when we was like, Lily was like, you don't even belong here. You're really out of room. She was like, woof. I said when she cut off that woman's arm,
chop.
I was like, she is gangster.
We don't care.
Like she's clear. She's dedicated to the cause at hand.
just the facts,
She
ma'am.
said-
We
she
got
even said,
just
"Shut up." She
to
was
the
just like,
business.
whoop.
Whack.
Right.
Just
actions.
about that work, and that's why I love Vader. Like that dude is like my all-time favorite. I was sad at the end of Jedi.
Well, I mean,
Sad.
he is the chosen one. I mean, remember we did the poll. And I think Vader was number one for most folks when you asked.
That's correct.
What was like your
Everybody
top?
knows Darth Vader.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Even if
care.
you don't like Star Wars, you know who he is.
And he was number one.
And if you see his face, you know who he is.
I mean, even have to see his face. It's just,
That's correct.
I mean, which they use a lot. And can I please say how grateful I am?
Yes.
They're using James Earl.
Give that man his flowers. Please now, why we still have him.
They must have had him read the dictionary.
Man.
It's-
I mean, they did have the voice
Right.
over, but I still want to give props to it because
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like he's probably the one consistent thing out of all of them in everything.
Palpatine. The guy, what's his
We
name?
didn't even get introduced to Palpatine until
That's true. That's true. We didn't see him, but he was a hologram in Empire Strikes Back. That's all we saw. That was intro.
right. I mean,
intro.
but James is like
yes,
really, like,
he's been there
old,
from
new,
one to
post,
the end.
Yeah,
Yes, that's correct.
very much so.
The Vader,
Iconic.
yeah, and
Iconic.
Vader, yeah, and they were. I need to bring this up too. One of our patrons, Jason Turan. He, to your point about the fight with Obi-Wan, when we're going back to episode 3, it was at first my concern was it was a very lackluster fight. Obi is really out of practice. It looked really bad.
He said it. He said it.
He's
up.
I'm
He was
not
like,
the same dude
I'm not the
anymore.
same dude.
And this is this is a shout out to the 80s babies out here. Jason, he was like, you know what, that fight was bad, but he is hopeful that this is the Star Wars version of Rocky 3. Clubber Lang v. Rocky. Beaten to a pulp, only to now, and this is Jason, I thought it was brilliant, he's going to go to Hoth and train and punch Tauntaun skin and train and
sure.
get ready.
So I want to say this because
There's only 3 episodes left.
well, not even
That
that.
is
It's
true.
not even
He's
that.
gonna have to get his training
Well,
on.
they promised
But I like
us-
that visual.
Well, they promised us another
Face off. I guess.
face off, like such as Revenge of the Sith. However, let's point out some things. I think the brilliance of this show is that we get to see a more emotional side of what's happening between the dynamic of these two. We're seeing a bond broken, but that can't be broken. It's almost weird, like, and it's not broken. So when we go back to New Hope, if you remember in that fight, Obi-Wan didn't fight him.
He didn't really do anything. He was just kind of deflecting him.
No,
He was
but
buying
no.
time for the for
Correct,
his.
but
For his
he pretty much sacrificed himself.
That's correct.
Because I think there is an understanding that he cannot beat him in this state.
No.
He can fight him better on an emotional, intellectual.
Like he smiled. At
Correct,
the end.
right?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he knew what he was doing.
And fulfilling the purpose of training Luke, because there's an understanding and knowing that Anakin still is the chosen one, and we have to let certain things play out. So it's almost like a choice of obedience over sacrifice. And so regardless of his own strengths, I think my point is that I think even in this fight that we'll eventually see, it's going to be something where he's going to probably retreat, and I just want us to be okay with that, because it's like it's a bigger game in play.
Yes.
And in this fight, or something's going to happen, I hope in this series that we'll get to see little sparks of Anakin still surviving, to give Obi-Wan a not yet. This isn't it. This is the long game, as we would say from Doctor Strange. We got to play the long game on this, right? So, I just want to put that out there because I feel like we're waiting for this like sword fight, and we already know that no one's going to lose, no one's going to die.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not.
You already know,
right?
Yeah.
And, which is okay, but it's almost.
I guess his point was he wanted to see some more skill. He looked very.
Actually, I was okay with, because I think
looked
it's
very
very consistent.
pedestrian.
He's using a lot of gun.
Yeah,
He's using a lot of but I think
guns.
this is consistent in when we watched episode 1, which I thought was brilliant. This man literally has been pushing his life away to the side,
Right.
cutting meat, feeding an animal, and just like babysitting. Like that's he's been putting all his energy into hopefully training Luke, but he's lost his own way. So I would have probably been upset if Obi would have came back in full force. I think there needs to be a little bit. I think once he connects to Qui-Gon, we'll start to see the, and it's going to be an evolution. Is which I was saying before. It's going to be an evolution of Obi-Wan. It's going to be like the old Clone Wars. It's going to be more of a intellectual Yoda master kind of level. That's get to see the full context of what's happening and the importance of being enough for Luke.
Right. And before I forget, the one thing that I found interesting about this fight, and this again, I have been known to read too much into stuff, but. And this is what the cinematography was showing me. Like, yeah, that fight was poorly choreographed, in my opinion, because there was a lot of like, well, wait, you just did all this, but then you pause and now
right.
it seemed that they were focused on like he's behind the mask, so you don't really see emotion, right?
No.
So they made a point of like he stood there and was just staring at like. Obi-Wan is gone, and he just sat there and stared, like
Intimidation. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it was intimidation. I think he was. I don't know if he was reflecting, like, man, maybe I went too far, or like he just seemed.
No, I think he's about to torture him. I think.
Well, I mean, he clearly tortured him, but after the fact,
keep them under the connected.
after he tortured
keep
him,
them under the connected. So let's just. I hear what you're saying, but they're connected. He knows how scared Obi-Wan is, and he's playing off of his fear. That's why I think it's more intimidation, which is why I think they did it intentionally. As bad as it was, it's also kind of cool because there was a point where we were staring. We were right behind Vader, camera-wise, and we didn't even know we were behind him until his lightsaber came out. And I think like there was a point where the camera's literally right behind him, and the red came out, and that's how you realize the whole time you've been staring at Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan was at the other part of the screen. And I think it's these moments of like, and Obi's running, and I think he's taunting him. I think he's really like, I have the upper hand because the last conversation was I have the higher ground. So I think this is a complete ego play. I think this is a complete intimidation.
Well, and I think
I don't think there's any regret at all. I think it's the hunt kind of situation that he's in because his anger is driving like this hunt mentality.
So do you think Darth is using the Force to, because like remember Obi sees him in the desert, like he has that.
You saw Anakin in the desert.
Anakin, yes. But I mean, I think that's important too. Like
it is because I think that's Obi-Wan's mind. That's not Darth messing with Anakin. I mean, Darth messing with Obi-Wan. Yeah. Keep in mind that Darth Vader right now is on the
What's the reason for that? I think that
because the same reason why he's hearing his voices in his head and you keep replaying things while he's asleep. There's a guilt in Obi-Wan in regards of, am I the reason he went to this side? Am I now the cause of everything that's becoming? Because I didn't either save him nor did I kill him. So I think there's a guilt thing of. Because the first thing he said to me, he said,
"It's heavy guilt." The fact that Anakin went to the dark side,
And
meant everything. Like the whole universe
correct.
suffered.
Don't forget that again. We're not at the Ben that we know in New Hope.
Right.
We're at the Ben who is full of regret.
Right.
Who was told by his master to train this boy. You
Failed.
failed. So you think right. You failed.
Right.
Then
And
you
told
let
as
him.
much,
Right.
though.
Then he lived. So now. Because you didn't have the heart to take him out, as you probably should have. It's
Now
a
he's a
double-edged
crazy
sword.
person.
Right now, you got this. He's walking around crushing people, Inquisitors, killing Jedis, and he's also been turning down Jedis. He's been come for help. He is having
Man,
an
that dude,
identity
yeah.
crisis right now,
Yeah,
and he's
he
not
was
the
responsible
wise.
for that Jedi's
correct.
death,
He's
too.
not the wise Ben
strung
again
that dude up.
to understand.
Yeah, he strung him up.
Right, to understand. So basically, how I look at it is it's like an imbalance of power, right? You have the dark force, because the force has two sides, light and dark. The dark right now is winning, and it's not. It's winning in the sense of intimidation, fear, and the light side is kind of like doubting itself, and that's what we're watching, and we're watching an age of darkness reigns. With little glimmers of hope, which
Right.
is why you have friends, and you know we're getting this. We're not at the rebel stage yet.
Right. And to your point, what I found interesting was
So spiritual.
that, and it's also political as well.
Oh boy.
And
Let's
like
get
even
to
with
these themes,
the
yes.
like with the and I we'll touch on it here, but I would love to do like just I think we should do like an episode that's not we could talk about Obi-Wan, but like talk about how Star Wars, you know, kind of paints the political picture.
Absolutely.
And says
Absolutely.
a lot about
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
it's super relevant.
yeah, like for example, like with when we got to that scene where they were hitching a ride with Frick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Something felt very MAGA about the
It was
bumper
it was,
sticker.
It,
You know what I'm saying?
It was
like,
a bumper sticker, but even the whole
Right.
thing of like,
and even his talking, his
Well, no, when-
dialogue
He
about
was like,
when he
yeah,
dropped
law
him
and
off-
order, right? Law and
right,
order.
but when
You
he dropped
got
them,
an
I
empire.
felt something a little weird about these guys, so I thought
Right.
I'd bring them straight to the police.
Right.
It was very,
Right.
Yeah.
it was very, but
Yeah.
funny enough, people may not realize a lot of the writing of Star Wars is based off of Nazi Germany in regards to that, which we know is practices of how to enslave people. So it's all relevant. And in the world we're living in right now, unfortunately, we have not solved those ills.
Right.
So those social ills. So we are seeing these themes, and I'm glad you brought that up because there's a couple of things that are happening. One, I would love Wally to talk about because he actually pointed out to me in regards of Black women and just that scene where Reva was like, you know.
Yes, we need to talk about the star of this show in my mind.
Oh, well, I mean, we're
Yes.
going to talk about her. But
Correct.
I'm going to talk about things before we jump
Yes.
on her. Because you were bringing to mind about Black women being marginalized and how she couldn't get credit for anything.
That's right. That was the second episode. There was the second episode. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you watch the show, you know this is a very ambitious and strong Black woman, and that wasn't an accident in casting. It wasn't. It was an accident. And Twish and I talked about this like offline in just general society. You know, Black women are behind the 8 ball because you're women and you're Black.
Right.
So it's tough out here when you're ambitious and you're good at what you do, and everybody knows that you're good at what you do. Even more so, better than those that by whom you're employed.
Right.
And those employers have a very difficult time coming to grips with that. They will let them do what they do and take the credit. It is a thing. And when I saw and heard that dialogue that the Grand Inquisitor had with her, it resonated loudly.
Right.
Pretty much what he called her, you know, we got you from the gutter. Because that's how they regard you.
We did you a favor.
You're good enough as long as you benefit us.
Right.
As long as you have something to offer us.
Right.
But stay in your place. And too often, the Black woman is faced with that. They have to work 3, 4, 5 times as hard to get half of what they deserve. And so that's why she is so aggressive. That's why she is so determined and battle hardened. But now she's angry black woman.
I was gonna say,
and
that's
how
the killer
often
part.
do you hear that?
But it's the killer.
Angry black
Everybody,
woman.
like, calm down.
Calm down. You're doing too much.
You're doing too much. But the minute she stops doing it, as we
Stuff
can see,
don't get done.
Nothing's getting done.
Well, and then from a story perspective, hearing what you're saying, like from a story perspective, maybe there's a reason why she's so hell bent on getting Obi-Wan. Right. Why don't we investigate why she's so
see that's what we need. That's what we want to see.
Right.
Everybody wants to see what is this motivation.
Right.
This is not I just want to be
right.
Darth's right hand.
Exactly.
It ain't that.
Right.
There's a reason why you want to get next to a dude who, if you fail, he'll choke you out.
Right.
Right.
Like
right.
that career advancement in the Empire is a dangerous and shaky thing.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
True,
like he has killed
we-
many a person who has failed.
And small failures. I don't want you talking right now.
Yes.
You know.
Your promotion is right around the corner.
But I want to stay before I jump into what's happening in the real world with Reva, but with Moses, I want to talk about where you went with it because yes, she's ambitious. There's a story behind it, and so there's a thought that she is the young black Padawan in the open of the show. So there's some speculation around that's her, and it could go either way. Either she feels betrayed by Darth, or she feels betrayed by Obi-Wan, or both.
They weren't protecting
right? They weren't protecting her. But she also knows that she's one of the people who knows he's Anakin, and we keep bringing that up because not a lot of people know that it's actually
correct.
Anakin.
Yeah. Right.
Also, she's
Right.
very, very, very strong with the Force. She is able
Super
to
strong,
mind
like-
read. She's able to Force jump. And I think even there's moments where she doesn't even show her full power when she's with the other brothers and sisters. But when she's by herself or doing something, she's all in. She was able to even sense Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Which gives me even a more, even though most Inquisitors are past Jedi, I think there's something about her that she's special in that way. And, you know, I think it's also not by accident she's not fully dark yet, meaning her face is not disfigured. She's not completely turned into it. So there's something about that. She doesn't wear a helmet or face covering. And so, yeah, I think it's really interesting, that part. And then there's another part where I think some people forgot. Like we jump into episode 3 when they find the path, which reminds me of the Underground Railroad. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yep.
And even it reminds me of Anne
right.
Frank with the
right.
Nazis.
Yes.
These secret rooms where we had to protect
And
young
people,
people,
just regular citizens
and
out here
Jedis.
just helping them. And,
Right, and they're marking things off,
Yep.
and you have people pick up in different spaces.
Yep.
When she discovered that space, if you notice, she did not go to the path to get to Princess Leia. She met her at the end, which means that she knows where these things are, and so she understands this on a whole nother level. I think she knows what this is. I think she's gone down that path, and so I'm one of those fans who think that she's actually doing all of this so she can get back at Darth Vader. That's what
that would be an
think.
interesting take.
That's just my prediction. I think she's going through a lot of these motions, and she's not necessarily good or bad. I think she's just bitter and hurt.
And to your point, that's
I'm
what you
also
watch
kinda,
the show
kinda
for.
Batman-ish, right?
That's
Like
what you watch the show for,
you know.
and not necessarily Obi-Wan.
Correct. Which is why I say
It's just wrapped in Obi-Wan.
go back to Van. I think Obi-Wan is now, like we were saying with Wars, it's given us a time frame of things that are happening in this time and space. It does not necessarily, it's not necessarily about this person. And I think they're doing a better job than they did with Boba Fett, because I think they're trying to do no. Well, I say that because I think Boba Fett was trying to do the same thing. Was trying to give you a snapshot of what's happening in this moment.
Yes.
Right.
But I think this is doing it, and they named it Boba. But I think by the fact that we're watching through the eyes of Obi-Wan,
Yes.
they're doing
That's
a better
it's
job
properly
of giving
done.
us a parallel view
that is
what's
exactly right.
happening in time without us losing sight of the main character.
I agree. I wasn't gonna go all in on Boba Fett, but like
No, I just want to explain what I meant when I brought it up.
Yeah, but you're right.
Because I think the intention of Boba Fett was that, but it got lost.
Yeah, you're right.
And I like that they're not just focused on Obi-Wan. They're actually like jumping, and these characters are getting developed inch by inch.
Yes.
And I love that. Like it's really nice. Like I'm invested in Reva as well. I want to know what her story arc is, even though she's villainous. I'm actually.
She's interesting.
Sorry, villainous at the moment.
Correct, but you know, so crazy about that. There are a lot of other Star Wars characters that sit in this weird place.
Right.
Sam Guerrera, who's played by Forrest Whitaker, is one of those kind of characters. Not that he was necessarily villainous,
Right.
but he was not like 100% good. He was on some he was
By
on some Malcolm
means,
X
by all
stuff.
means
Right.
necessary.
He was very.
I mean, old
and
girl's chopping off hands of citizens. She ain't
Right.
the greatest person.
No, she's not. But to your point, I wonder she's doing it for the greater good.
That's
in her
true,
mind,
but-
what she thinks is greater good.
Right, yes.
That's why I put the
Right.
asterisk.
Because
right
Magneto
It's
does
interesting.
things for the greater good,
Right.
but he kills a lot of people.
He does, but at the same time,
It's
Magneto,
terrible.
But
Road
it's
to
times.
hell
It's also times when Magneto plays this role of, okay, you got me, Charles. Society,
Right.
But and again, y'all notice I like gray, and so I like when
Yeah,
you get
chaotic good.
I mean,
that's what they
ally
call
the
them.
boys, right? Like it's this really weird dynamic of morals, right? But anyway, if it's okay, I would love to shift the conversation to real life. What's happening?
Sure, yeah,
With Moses.
yeah,
You know,
let's get into it.
yeah,
It's bad out here, man.
yeah.
It's bad. We talked about it offline, obviously. And it seems to always come up with Star Wars.
No,
there's
sorry, not Star Wars, geek culture.
that's true, but Star Wars here lately.
Right. Yes.
And I want to give us like props to, but someone brought this up. Star Trek doesn't actually go through this as much, and that's probably because Star Trek has been doing this right for years. And when I say, you're right, geek culture in general, but I think there's a part where the franchise has to do its part. Because here's the thing: we're not no Star Wars, no Star Trek, no president. No, nobody's gonna come and magically take away 400 years of, and even 400 plus years
Right.
of racism and,
Right.
and the inherent evil and the inherent mindset of how we have divided people and judge people by the color of their skin.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm not looking for any one thing to just wave a wand
Oh,
and
no.
magically get
No,
rid
certainly
of it.
not.
But what I will say is that the same techniques and tools that society has used to build in this matrix of hate and this matrix of social ills is the same system that has to start to put things in place now to make it go away. So I was only giving props
Right.
to the Star Trek, and I'm gonna be quiet because I think I'm jumping Star
No,
Trek
you're
for a
good.
minute, in the sense of out the gate they had a black woman in the show. She was a main character, right? And then you saw Star Trek has then evolved into having black and other. A matter of fact, it was very diverse from the door, but black and other captains, women, black. So even Star. So I'm just saying that I want to have a conversation not only about what's happening with Riva, but I want to also keep accountable my beloved Disney and Star Wars Lucasfilms, because there is an accountability in it, and their response to what happened and that little tweet they gave is not sufficient. But let's catch everybody up on what's probably going on.
Yeah.
Don't
So
know. I'm sorry.
for some reason or another, fans, I don't know what the deal is. They just do not like to see us in Star Wars. Us being people of color. I
period.
don't get it.
You don't get it?
I don't get why it's such a big deal. Why is it such a big deal? What is the problem?
What's the problem?
I mean, I understand. You understand.
Yeah.
You
No,
understand
I'm
that
not-
I understand.
Suge Knight come out like you know what's the problem.
But
You don't know what's wrong.
But I just don't understand why you're so bothered by it. I mean, when the dude on the headliner, he's white. Are you okay? Like, what's the problem? Because she wrecking shop, putting in work. I mean, so now you want to mask your racism with nonsense like she can't act. Are you kidding me?
Well, see, here's
That is nonsense.
See the problem.
And she's a diversity hire, and and all of this. Man, where is this coming from, bro?
I mean, it's always been there.
I mean, come on.
Go ahead.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead,
I
Rose.
was gonna say. I think the thing that irritates me is the same people that say that. Well, then don't watch the show. But they're gonna tune in to Star Wars because it's Star Wars.
If you don't like it, just
I wish it was that easy, but the reality is, the franchise has not been. I believe is 100% supportive. That's just my opinion, and it's hurting me to say this because I'm trying not to cry again. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I've loved it since I was a little girl.
What?
And it's bothering me that as an adult, and that I have to watch this, be conscious of what happens culturally. That what's supposed to be an escape, what's supposed to be a universe of 1,000+ species, what's supposed to be a fantasy, what's supposed to be a true story of good and evil, we have to have these real life conversations by so-called fans who's supposed to love that kind of lore. They're going to be so diminutive in thinking and what they're doing to actually pick on people of color in this universe, because they did it with Finn. He was talked about so badly, right, that he actually asked for the franchise to support him, and they were supposed to develop his character, and it didn't happen because of the backlash. I forgot the young lady's name, the Asian young lady. She had to come off of social media, period.
Right.
She could not get
Ray.
back on. Right.
Not Ray. Yeah.
The young lady.
But Ray was also another.
But she's not, because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
I get
Still,
it. But
it's
this Asian
ridiculous.
girl.
But in terms of race,
But this Asian, I mean, she had to like go off of media, period. With Moses, she actually shared some of the comments from being called an N-word to being called a diversity hire, to being called out her name, to being told. And it's emotionally frustrating for me because, again, this is supposed to be my escape. This is supposed to be my safe space. And as a Black woman nerd, I now also feel like what's supposed to be a community for me is not even a real community. That community doesn't exist. I have to still go into a space that's supposed to be freeing and fantasy and creative, still having to defend the fact of my skin color and my sex. And I think that's a problem.
Yes,
and I'm actually in chats with people who are trying to use her poor acting as an excuse to be racist. And try to use the writing and what's going on with the writing to be racist. And I realize now that there's things where I'm not even probably going to be respected or even heard, or my voice will not be appreciated just because of the color of my skin and because I am a female, regardless of my knowledge and love for Star Wars. And I just want people to understand why this is hurtful, because, again, I'm a young girl, right, loving this type of fantasy, which is open up a creative side of my brain, which has created a place where I am doing what I'm doing today. It has affected me. It has motivated me. And I don't think people think about children and people who are coming up in this culture who is loving Star Wars, loving Marvel, loving DC, and trying to, be okay with being different and being other, and to have to be hit with something as trivial and as sophomoric as racist, mother, please beat this out, who just have no concept of how the world works, to just bring this level of hate into something so beautiful. Likewise, I do look at Star Wars, I do look at Lucasfilms, and I am saying this because George Lucas himself, who's married to a black woman, so just let me say that he loves black women, clearly, who's married to a black and spoiled her before she even said yes before she get married, go do your work. For the franchise, which is not just George, but we're not talking to Disney, I need y'all to do better. I need y'all not to make posters where posters in the States
taking Finn off.
Finn is
taking
off.
Finn off in China.
Or now that you hear what's happened with Reva, you decided not to go further into having more people of color be race sensitive, because all we had is Mace Windu, if you really think about it. Finn never got a chance to even talk about how he was, we don't have any development. I mean, I think Lando might be the only real developed character, and I'm sure he went through something before social media.
Code 45.
James Earl Jones was a voice for years, but you never seen his face. Which, good, bad, or indifferent. My point is, I can count on my hands how many people of color are in the Star Wars franchise, and none of them are main characters, and I have not seen Star Wars do a more concerted effort to making sure that they feel protected. And when it came to Moses, they told this was going to happen. It happened, and they came up with a weak tweet talking about we resist. I need to do more than resist. I need to start cutting people off. And I need you to start being intentional about having conversations on that this universe that you love and adore is made up from a number of species and a number of understanding the difference and embracing difference and what that looks like. And I need y'all to have a stronger platform, because it's not okay. And I'm not okay. And this was very triggering for me personally, professionally, and as a nerd. And I wanted to express that. And I hope that someone's listening, picking up what I'm putting down. Because what I'm going through also happens in my workplace. It happens when I walk through a store. It happens when I talk to people. I cannot take off my color. I cannot stop being a woman. And I should not feel like everywhere I go I have to defend what that looks like. And I want to just know, let Moses know we got your back. We see you. You're killing it. By the way, go read her credits. She was in
That's what I'm
Queen's
saying.
Gambit. She killed it in Queen's Gambit. That was an amazing movie. I had no complaints about her acting then. So let's be clear. And also, last but not least, for the record, the person who is directing and producing this is a Asian woman. Is another woman of color. And she is killing this show. They gave her one of the most important projects that we said in the beginning is the number one watch. So I want y'all to be really careful that because you don't see who's behind the curtain doesn't mean it's any less significant. And it needs to stop.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I think you may have dropped your mic on the floor.
Right.
You heard it.
Yeah.
That I don't know if anyone else can say that, but those were bars, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
That's all facts. And it's frustrating. It is frustrating, man, because we're fans, and realistically, and I was sharing this before, I mean, every community is just a microcosm of the greater. And unfortunately, you're going to get those in there. You're just going to. But it is, to Wish's point, you feel like you can go to a movie or enjoy a television series without dealing with that. It's unfortunate that social media makes it very easy. Kill Steve Jobs. Go back in time.
No.
I'll explain that later.
But
man, everybody is just everybody has these opinions, and it is hurtful. You know, you want to enjoy this stuff, and it's tough. You know, because you almost got to do so in a vacuum. Just watch it and just don't pay attention. But you want to hear what other people think about a show or a movie or a property, you know, IP that you have a passion for.
Right. Because
you want what we said, a community. You want to be able to get on a message board or, you know, on Reddit or, you know, the Gram, wherever you like to go for your social media and discuss the things that you hold dear, and to know that you sharing space with somebody that, you know, got their tiki torch on full blaze, you know, it's disconcerting. It is. It's hard for us, you know, especially, you know, as blurs. It's tough, man. It's tough. You know, it's bad enough we had to hide it from people in our own community. You know what I'm saying? Sneaking around to the comic book store, didn't want nobody to know what you was doing.
Right.
You know, Star Wars figures in your house. You know, you a nerd. You know, that's not hot. It wasn't cool.
Right.
But now it's like, you know, you're not safe anywhere.
Yeah, but the thing that I struggle with is, and Tawisha eloquently put it, the money. Like, they're so afraid, and whenever we talk about the boys kind of touches on this too. It's like, it's the money. We got to make sure that we skewing, which way are we skewing? You know, it's like, are we getting an uptick here in this demographic? Right. Are we getting an uptick here?
Right.
So, you know, it's just, it's sad. It's really sad. Like, and I, you know, like, you know, just being on this podcast, like, just realize, like, you really start looking at things. And it's not like we're just coming, you know, just like creating these conspiracy theories or just becoming woke. It's just kind of like, wait a minute, when you're a kid, you're oblivious to some of this stuff.
Yeah,
like you said, you watch Star Wars.
Childhood innocence,
and you don't,
man. It wasn't, there's none of that, man.
It's just lasers and sword, like laser swords.
Man, this is great.
And the story, the redemption
then you
story.
start peeling back layers, man. It's depressing.
Like, yeah, and when you start getting into representation, like even if you look at earlier Star Wars, it was a reflection of the time.
Yeah.
But George Lucas was trying, like, to our point, George Lucas was trying to, you know, like, I think he was ultimately telling a story about, like, the political systems and religion. So I think it would, like, start
heavy
there.
in religion too.
Yeah,
especially.
But now that we're in this space where, like, there's a lot more diversity in roles, like, I feel like Star Wars has done a good job of, to a certain degree, like, making sure that we're represented inside of the universe. And I hope that trend continues. But the problem is there has to be, okay, now that you're being inclusive, there also has to be kind of a counterbalance on like, okay, like the people can't get attacked. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And like Toulouse said, man, we have to we got to have their back, man. We gotta support them,
Right.
because I can imagine it's tough,
Right.
and everybody's different.
Right.
You might have an actor or an actress that can shake it off and
Right.
keep it moving.
Right.
You might have others like the Asian young lady you talked
Right.
about who just goes in hiding, right? Like
Can you
everybody's not
imagine
the
you're
same.
You're
an
actor
artist.
or actress,
Yes.
and you get your first shot at acting, and you get to play in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
How deep is that?
Right,
Like,
and
then all of a
you
sudden
putting in work,
Right.
like you get to do the coolest stuff
Probably
that Star
the
Wars
dream
has to
come
offer.
true.
Right. Right.
Dream come true, and you
Right.
guys just kill it.
Yeah,
Right.
And
At
I'm
least
not too, but I don't get woke or deep with it. But why it's so triggering is like right now, you get shot. You could be in a grocery store and get shot because
Yeah.
you're black.
Yep,
Right.
You could be in your car and get pulled over because you're black.
yep.
It's just because you're black.
Right.
It's so. It's becoming just so
too much.
everyday. It's just
Exhausting,
becoming.
man.
It's just becoming so part of it, and it's just like I can't. I don't want to believe that we're bringing it too cinematic. Like it's. I mean, I just can't believe hate can be that deep and so painful and so dark that we have to like soak everything in society in that space.
Right.
People,
well, with social media.
right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
man, I'm
but
telling you.
it's just. I mean, but
Because it's been there.
a grocery
Yeah, it's been
store.
there.
It's been there.
I mean, that's my point. But I mean, and it's almost like you want to thank it for exposing these people, but it's almost like it's
yeah.
scary how many people actually feel this way. It's just almost scary to think that we live in a society where a person's life is less precious because of the color of their skin, and people are really okay with this narrative.
Yeah.
And to your point, as a blurred community, does that lessen our love for this lore? Does it lessen our knowledge of it? Does it lessen just because we're black? And we know it's not true because we have wonderful fans and we have wonderful people who listen to the podcast. Mm-hmm. And I think it's diverse, and I think we do very well of not going down this path. But, you know, true allyship and true awareness looks like calling it out and calling out people when you hear them say it, and having the courage of being okay to lose $1 or $2 and lose a friend or two if it's the right thing to start transforming the mindset that is poisoning our world right now.
Yeah, get to the money. That's the only way.
But to get to the money, you have to get to the people, and people have to start exercising their power in a way where we're not going to just say something, but we're actually going to do it. And it would break my heart not to watch Star Wars, but if it means that it's for the culture, then I'll cancel Star Wars. I'll cancel Lucasfilms. We have to be willing.
Right there.
It's a whole lot, because at this point, this was something beloved and should have been like sacred and stuff. And it's just like nothing's sacred anymore. Everything's off the table. Mm-hmm. And I want our children to grow up in a world where they don't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
It's hard to love something, and you have to be called a when you're on a chat line. That's just unacceptable around Star Wars.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing else to say after that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we can't.
Yeah.
Can't,
There's nothing else. It is what it is.
Right.
You know, we love the show.
Yeah.
We love the IP. The community's starting to suck a little bit. That's all. You know, we just everything, all of what she said. And I can imagine that, because we have some very thoughtful patrons and people who may or may not be patrons that interact and engage in our Facebook group and such. So I'm very interested in what you have to say about this, because I mean, if we're going to be a community, you have to do that. You have to commune, right? I mean, you have to be willing to have the uncomfortable conversations,
Right.
You know, understanding that we are family. I mean, because to me, that's what it is. I mean, we all love this stuff, man, and we have a common interest. that's what brings people together that differ in, you know, in whatever areas those are.
Right.
I mean, you know what it is. I mean, you could be at a football game and be sitting next to somebody you wouldn't necessarily hang with, or you know, fraternize with.
Right.
But you're both cheering for the home team, high fiving, drinking beer, whatever you do, and you're not paying attention to what that person looks like because you all share in the same love for whatever that is. Right. I don't understand why that just cannot be the case with Star Wars or the MCU or the DC Universe or whatever. And I just feel like that needs to be what it is. So you summed it up, and Wish, and I want to hear, we want to hear what your thoughts are. So please let us know how you feel about that and the show in general, and whether or not you would like to. I mean, of course, representation is a thing,
right?
And we want to see more of it,
right?
We know they're not afraid to do it. They've proved that they can do it, but to Wish's point, they have to be willing to stand up in a more emphatic fashion when one of those that they entrust with these roles gets attacked needlessly, right? We want to see that you care and stop pulling us off flyers and off of posters when you get a little scared.
Yeah,
because you want that Chinese money.
It was interesting. You know, when we were in the pandemic, there was a lot of companies emphasizing and taking a stand, and we stand with you.
We standing with you.
Yeah,
come on to the theater.
Right.
Yeah, but now that we back and COVID is not a big deal anymore. We're cowering once again. But let us know what you think out there.
And before, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
you
off.
Go ahead.
Before we wrap up, I got to do a gatekeeper, civility and order thing.
Okay.
So you made an eloquent speech at the end.
Okay.
But you cracked a joke about kill Steve Jobs. You got to put some context to it, Wally.
Right.
So put the
okay.
Context
We're gonna go Terminator, right? And we 80s
and we
babies.
can't go long with it. But
okay, we're 80s babies.
Right.
We love the Terminator. You know, the whole premise is you got to go back in time and right these wrongs. If you got to kill somebody to prevent something from happening, then that's what you got to do. And if I was the Terminator, Steve Jobs go down, bro.
Right. So that was a joke that you were cracking.
Yes.
You just said kill Steve Jobs, and there was no context. So you were joking, right?
Yeah. Well, if I could do it.
Right.
Well, no, before he made this.
I know, but I'm just trying to.
But you got
internet on the phone. Yeah.
You got to make some context.
Because this mobile internet thing is a problem. It's a problem.
No, people are a problem.
Yeah, but don't make them get on a desktop if they want to speak.
Well, they get on a desktop.
Yeah, but man, it's too easy.
We should just end because I personally think it's a double-edged sword. I want to know who you are because before the internet came out, you didn't know who people were.
Still don't. They still hiding behind and ain't got no profile picture.
And because hate's been around before the internet.
That's correct.
If anything, let's kill hate.
Yep.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Go find Willie Lynch.
Yeah. Yes. And to those who have a problem with Reva and everything else, and Miss Ingram, right? Drink a tall bottle of bleach and die. There you go. And with that,
see, I try.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Established 1982
EST 1982 podcast.
Yeah, check us
on
out
Facebook and Twitter.
Patreon.
Patreon.com/EST 1982 podcast.
Thank you for listening.
And put some ice in it.
Peace.